3 in the morning. Chicago was a ghost town, all cold steel and empty streets. I was on my last DoorDash run of the night, a late-night pharmacy pickup for the Sovereign Hotel, room 2010. At the front desk, 2 night shift workers were whispering.
Did you see them? Seriously, what a train wreck. The couple in 2010? They were trying so hard to be discreet, it was almost comical. Right? The guy could be her father. If you're gonna cheat, at least don't make it so obvious.
I was dead on my feet, but who doesn't love a little gossip? I couldn't help but glance in the direction they were looking. The woman was wearing a dress that left nothing to the imagination, draped all over the older man like a cheap scarf. It only took a second. I knew her. Jessica. There was no mistaking her. That was the face of the woman I'd slept next to for 3 years. The face of my wife, Jessica Miller, before the accident. But wasn't she suffering from crippling depression because of her disfigurement? Wasn't she threatening to kill herself every other day? What the hell was she doing here, wrapped around some old geezer? My hand tightened on the delivery bag. I wanted to storm over there and demand an explanation, but they were already stepping into the elevator. The door slid shut. I slammed through the stairwell door and started running, my heart hammering against my ribs. I sprinted up the flights, the burn in my lungs, nothing compared to the fire in my gut. I just couldn't believe it. Last night, she'd been curled up in my arms, whispering,
Leo, I feel so useless. I'm just dragging you down.
My heart had shattered for her. I'd held her tighter, kissing the scarred side of her face. Jess, no. This is my fault. I owe you this. I swear, I'll make enough money to get you the best cosmetic surgery there is. Her disfigurement was because of me. A speeding motorcycle had come out of nowhere. She'd pushed me out of the way, and the bike had clipped her, tearing a deep gash across her cheek. Half her face ruined. To make amends, to pay my debt, I married her. I swore I'd take care of her for the rest of my life. The accident sent her into a deep depression. Every time I saw her staring at her reflection with dead eyes, I wanted to take a knife to my own face. Just 2 hours ago, she'd texted me.
Honey, I'm having a really bad night. I'm going to stay at Sarah's.
I'd immediately picked up a few more delivery slots, my fingers flying across the screen as I texted back. I'm so sorry, baby. It's all my fault. I'm going to work harder, I promise. I'll make you beautiful again. Just hang on. I'll be home as soon as I finish these runs. The memory made my vision swim. Gasping for breath, I finally reached the 20th floor just as they disappeared into room 2010. My phone buzzed. An angry, older man's voice barked in my ear.
Hello. Where the hell is my order? The app says you're already at the hotel. This is taking forever. You better believe I'm filing a complaint.
Bam! Before I could answer, I heard the phone clatter against a hard surface. He hadn't even hung up. Through the receiver, I heard Jessica's voice, cooing.
Don't be angry, baby. I even booked us a different hotel for later. We've got all night to play.
My hands trembling, I tore open the paper bag. Condoms. Of course. I actually had a laugh. My life was such a joke that I was personally delivering condoms for my wife's affair. Why? Why would she do this to me? Standing outside the door, I called her number. From inside room 2010, the first few notes of her favorite song played before she declined the call. Through my phone's receiver, I heard the man ask irritably,
Who is that?
Just some simp. God, he's so annoying, always clinging to me. Forget him. Come on, baby. I'm ready to give you your injection.
Nausea roiled in my stomach. I felt like I was going to puke. She was calling that old fossil baby? I leaned against the wall, my legs giving out from under me. After a moment, without a second thought, I dialed 911. 10 minutes later, the police arrived. I kicked the door open with a single, furious motion and yelled, Police! I'm reporting solicitation. The door flew inward, revealing Jessica dressed in a see-through nurse's outfit, straddling the old man on the bed. She was holding a prop syringe.
Ah!
She screamed, scrambling off him as the officers and I flooded into the room. She fumbled with the costume, trying to cover herself, her panic making her clumsy. I didn't waste any time. I lunged forward and planted my fist squarely in the old man's face. You son of a bitch. You're soliciting my wife. The officers exchanged confused glances. Jessica jumped in front of the old man, shielding him.
What is wrong with you, Leo?
She shrieked.
You're like a rabid dog, attacking everyone you see. Who's your wife? If you've got nothing better to do with your mouth, go lick a toilet. Stop running your damn mouth. Who the hell do you think you are?
I pointed a shaking finger at her, my face burning with rage. What's wrong with me? You told me you were staying at Sarah's. Is this old creepy friend Sarah? Jessica, you're a real toad trying to pass as a princess, ugly on the inside and out. The old man, however, was composed. He calmly straightened his clothes and wiped a smear of blood from his lip.
You officers must have a lot of free time, taking the word of a random delivery driver so seriously.
One of the cops frowned, looking at the two of them, so brazen even after being caught. He shot me a sympathetic look before turning to Jessica.
We confirmed the registered guest's information with the front desk before coming up.
He said professionally.
Ma'am, please show me your ID. We need to verify who you are.
Jessica clutched her costume to her chest.
Officer, did you see any money change hands? What proof does he have? And for that matter, I haven't even seen your badge. And you're demanding my ID.
The cops had seen it all, but they'd probably never seen anyone this arrogant about getting caught. The officer's face hardened.
Ma'am, we're on high alert for trafficking. We have to investigate every report we receive, especially when there's such a significant age gap. You don't think we have the right to be suspicious?
We're a couple. We're in a normal relationship. Is that against the law?
The old man said smoothly, stepping forward to wrap an arm around Jessica's shoulder. A couple. I laughed, a harsh, broken sound. I stared straight at Jessica. Jessica, shacking up with a guy older than your own dad? Classy. I turned back to the cops. Officers, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I help the law, not my family. The age gap alone is suspicious, right? It's a reasonable assumption.
You.
Jessica's face went white, her lips trembling.
Leo, are you insane? Why would you do this to me?
I snorted. Do this to you? You got a hell of a nerve, blaming me. I just can't believe you can even stomach a guy that old. Aren't you afraid of catching something? At that, the old man snatched a heavy glass ashtray from the nightstand and hurled it at my head.
Do you have any idea who I am? I'll make sure you never work in this city again.
I dodged. The ashtray shattered against the floor lamp behind me, sending shards of glass flying. A piece sliced into the arm of the officer standing next to me. Seeing their partner injured, the other two cops moved in fast, tackling the man and slapping handcuffs on him.
All right, that's enough. You're both coming down to the station to sort this out.
The old man was still struggling.
Which precinct are you from? I'm filing a formal complaint against every one of you.
Shut up. You just assaulted an officer.
One of them growled, forcing him to the ground. ####03 at the station, they stonewalled. The old man, whose name I learned was Richard Warren, had his lawyer there in minutes. After an hour of questioning, the police let them go. Without proof of a financial transaction, they couldn't make a solicitation charge stick. As he left, Richard had his lawyer pointedly take down the badge numbers of the arresting officers. Then he led Jessica to a waiting Bentley. Before getting in the car, Jessica dropped the act. She looped her arm through Richard's and shot me a look of pure contempt.
Leo, it's not my fault you're a failure. You should take a good look in the mirror. Marrying me was the best thing that ever happened to you.
I thought about how, ever since her accident, she'd used her depression as an excuse not to work. I'd shouldered every single bill, every expense without complaint. I did out of guilt. I thought I owed her. It was laughable now. I had poured my heart and soul into this woman for 3 years. I gave her the middle finger. Funny, Jessica, your face seems to have healed up just fine. And your skin's on so thick it could probably stop a bullet. The Bentley sped off, kicking up a cloud of dust. I spat on the ground. What a goddamn mess. Back at our apartment, I started packing my things. I sent her a single text. I want a divorce, then blocked her number and all her social media profiles. A few minutes later, a call came through from an unknown number. It was her voice a shrill nail on a chalkboard.
Leo, don't you forget my depression is your fault. And you have the nerve to ask for a divorce. I'm telling you, not a chance. Not without $500,000.
I see. So she wasn't completely sure she had Richard on the hook yet. She couldn't afford to lose her human ATM just in case. Jessica, your disfigurement was a lie. You're not depressed, you're brain dead, I said, my voice low and shaking with fury. You know what they say, you can't cheat an honest man, and a shameless person is unstoppable. You're goddamn invincible. I hung up. I thought that would be the end of it, but I had underestimated Jessica's venom. A few days later, a post about me went viral. The headline was plastered everywhere. Selfish husband Leo Martinez. 3 years of marriage. Leaves disfigured. Depressed wife for dead. The post was a masterpiece of fiction, painting me as a manipulative monster who used her and then tossed her aside. Jessica was the tragic victim, a poor, wounded soul. She claimed our marriage was 3 years of hell, that the accident she suffered for me had left her scarred and suicidal, and that on top of my neglect, I was physically abusive. She included photos of her disfigured face, along with pictures of bruises on her arms. In the photos, she looked broken, her eyes empty, the very picture of misery. My blood ran cold. The post exploded. An army of clueless keyboard warriors descended, showering Jessica with sympathy and me with death threats. My social media accounts were flooded with hate. People were doxing me, posting my address and phone number. But that wasn't enough for her. She decided to cash in on the drama by starting an Instagram Live. On screen, she bit her lip, tears streaming down her perfect face, playing the victim for all it was worth. Her followers ate it up, sending a cascade of virtual gifts. She shook her head, her voice a choked whisper.
I don't know what I did wrong. Now that he's gone, my life has no meaning.
She sobbed.
I have to take sleeping pills every night just to get a moment of peace. Maybe it would be better if I just died. I never cared that he was poor. I can't believe he left me because of my scars.
She looked so fragile, her body trembling, her expression lost and tragic. She looked like she was about to collapse from grief. Even then, she didn't forget to twist the knife. A text from a new number popped up on my phone. See this? I'm going to destroy you. Get my $500,000 ready. Or just wait and see what happens next. I just laughed and texted back a single middle finger emoji. She was crying a river on her live stream, a regular damsel in distress. But I knew those tears were the cheapest prop she owned. Her viewers lapped it up. The screen was a blizzard of gift animations and comments screaming.
We're so sorry for you.
And
Leo Martinez is canceled.
she'd even bought bots to flood the comments.
I've had him as a delivery driver. His attitude was horrible. Leo Martinez? I knew him in high school. Total bully. Not surprised he's a wife beater.
Watching her bask in the glow of her lies, a smug little smile flickered across her face. How dare she? She was practically begging to be exposed. So, I waited until her viewer count peaked, then started my own Instagram Live. My title was simple and to the point. Jessica, had enough of the drama? People love a good train wreck. My stream was instantly flooded with users. The chat exploded.
OMG. He's here. The man himself. You have some nerve showing your face, you scumbag. Explain yourself. Why did you abuse your wife?
I looked at the comments and let out a cold, humorless laugh. Explain? I didn't need to explain a thing. Hey, everyone. I'm Leo Martinez, the scumbag from Jessica's little sob story. I said to the camera, my voice calm. Today, I'm going to show you who the real actor is. I didn't waste time. I just started screen sharing the photos and videos I'd taken outside the Sovereign Hotel. In the photos, Jessica was caked in makeup, wearing a tight dress, practically grinding on an old man. The video was even better. There she was, in her sexy nurse outfit, straddling him, her voice a sickeningly sweet purr as she whispered things that would make a sailor blush. Her face wasn't just scar-free. It was covered in a full face of professionally done makeup.
Baby, I brought that little costume you like so much. Tell me who's prettier, me or your wife?
For good measure, I looped the most cringeworthy parts into a GIF and let it play on repeat. The live chat went silent. Everyone was stunned by the whiplash of the reversal. Then it erupted again, but this time, all the venom was aimed at Jessica.
Holy S #T. My jaw is on the floor. This woman is a professional manipulator. Disfigured and depressed? She looks like she's living her best life on a sugar daddy's dime. Gross. The mistress playing the victim. This woman is disgusting.
An army of newly enlightened justice warriors swarmed Jessica's livestream, flooding her chat with insults and reporting her account. Jessica, still oblivious, was in the middle of another tearful monologue about my cruelty. It wasn't until someone commented,
Stop acting, you homewrecker,
that she finally paused. Her face went pale, and she abruptly ended the live stream. I sent her a new text. You really think a back alley tramp like you is worth $500,000? Be at the county clerk's office. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. It's over. Suddenly, I got a DM request from an account I didn't recognize.
Hello. The man in your video was pixelated, but I recognize him. That's my husband, Richard Warren. I'd like to talk to you in person. Are you available?
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I agreed immediately. When I got to the coffee shop, she was already there. She wore a sharp black pantsuit, her makeup immaculate. She was probably in her late 40s or early 50s, but she carried herself with an undeniable elegance and power. Honestly, my first thought was, is this old guy blind? He had this stunning, powerful woman at home, and he was chasing after trash like Jessica?
Mr. Martinez, hello. I'm Richard's wife, Eleanor Warren.
She extended a perfectly manicured hand, a polite but distant smile on her face.
I know you must have questions. I asked you here to clear some things up.
She got straight to the point, her voice as smooth and cool as marble. She confirmed what I suspected. Richard was the CEO of a major corporation. No wonder he'd been so arrogant. So, what do you want from me? I asked, wanting to tell Jessica to leave your husband alone, or something else. Eleanor took a delicate sip of her coffee.
That won't be necessary.
She said, a hint of weariness in her tone.
Jessica is just one of many.
I raised an eyebrow. I wasn't surprised. A bitter smile touched her lips.
I'm sure you think I'm a fool, staying with a man who cheats so openly. The truth is, marriages at our level are often more like business mergers. Sometimes, it's not that I can't leave him, it's that he can't afford to lose me. Rest assured, Richard is not stupid enough to actually marry someone like Jessica. Then.
Eleanor's expression hardened, her eyes turning to ice.
The problem is, Jessica is a parasite. She knew from the beginning that Richard was married with a family. She's been deliberately sending me explicit photos and videos of them together, trying to force me into a divorce. I'm not afraid of her. But I am concerned about the damage this kind of scandal could do to the company. Anne. In her most recent attempt to provoke me, she told me she was pregnant.
I stared at her, saying nothing, but my hands clenched into fists under the table. Jessica had told me she wasn't ready for kids. Turns out, she just wasn't ready to have them with me. Eleanor saw the look on my face.
I need a favor.
She said, her voice dropping.
I need her current address. I know it's forward of me, but...
She opened her purse and slid a debit card across the table.
There's $50,000 on this. Consider it a fee for your trouble.
I looked at the card and let out a short, sharp laugh.
Is that not enough?
She asked coolly. No, you misunderstand. I would have given her the address for free. Eleanor was right. Jessica needed to be taught a lesson. That night, I texted Jessica. So what's it going to be? She replied instantly.
Not one penny less. Don't even think about it. You just wait, I have other ways to ruin you.
I smiled. You're not going to get the chance. I texted again. Why make this hard? Look, I'll give you $10,000. Just sign the papers tomorrow, and we can both move on. Silence for a few minutes. She was thinking it over. I sent the final blow. Think about it. I have proof you cheated. If you don't take the deal, I'll file for divorce myself, and a judge will see that video. You'll get nothing. A moment later, a single word appeared on my screen.
Fine.
The next morning, I was up early. After getting ready, I headed straight for the county clerk's office.
Where's the money?
She demanded the second she saw me, her fingers tipped with blood-red nails, tapping impatiently on my arm. I pulled a bank card from my wallet and dangled it in front of her. As soon as the divorce is final, it's all yours. She snatched the card from my hand like a starving animal. We signed the papers, stamped the forms. The whole process was shockingly quick, as if the last 3 years of lies and manipulation had never happened. Holding the freshly printed divorce certificate, I let out a long, slow breath. Finally, I was free of her. Jessica immediately ran to the nearest ATM in the lobby to check the balance. A wide grin spread across her face when she saw the $10,000. But the smile vanished as quickly as it appeared. She spun around, pointing a finger at my chest.
Wait a minute. You liar. You told me you were broke, but you had $10,000 squirreled away this whole time.
Her sudden rage was so absurd I had to laugh. Are you serious, Jessica? Do you think every cent I earn belongs to you? Our argument was starting to draw stares. People were looking at Jessica with a mixture of curiosity and disdain. She was speechless for a second, then resorted to her old script, her voice rising to a hysterical shriek.
I was disfigured for you. Don't you have a heart?
Jessica.
A calm, cool voice cut through the air. Eleanor Warren, dressed in a stunningly tailored white suit, stood behind her. She wasn't alone. A group of imposing-looking men stood silently behind her. I leaned back against the wall, wishing I had a bag of popcorn. This was going to be a good day. Eleanor stood with her arms crossed, looking down at Jessica as if she were something she'd found on the bottom of her shoe. Her eyes were arctic.
Miss Miller, if you would.
Eleanor's voice was quiet, but it held the weight of absolute authority. Jessica recognized Eleanor, of course. She'd probably spent months fantasizing about taking her place. The sight of her, and the men flanking her, clearly spooked her, but she quickly puffed up with false bravado.
What do you want?
She snapped.
I'm telling you I'm pregnant with a Warren heir. If you so much as touch me, Richard will never forgive you.
Eleanor didn't even bother to respond. She just gave a subtle nod. 2 of the men stepped forward, grabbed Jessica by the arms, and half-carried, half-dragged her out of the building and into a black SUV. A moment later, my phone buzzed. It was a private link from Eleanor to a live stream. The caption read,
Mr. Martinez, I felt you deserved a front-row seat for the finale.
I texted back. Thank you. I've been waiting to see how this ends. The video feed showed the living room of a massive mansion. Eleanor was calmly sipping from a teacup, while Jessica thrashed and screamed on the floor.
Richard, get out here. Your wife is attacking me.
Jessica wailed, clawing at an ornate antique chair.
An heir?
Eleanor said from the sofa, her voice dripping with disdain.
Who even knows whose child that is? You think a bastard like that is fit to enter the Warren family?
Jessica shot up, her face contorted with rage. She marched over to Eleanor, jabbing a finger in her face.
Don't you act so high and mighty. You're just some washed-up hag who can't even produce a son. Well, I can. I'm carrying a boy. And as soon as he's born, Richard is going to marry me, and you'll be thrown out on the street.
Eleanor looked amused.
A son?
She laughed softly and clapped her hands. 2 small, adorable boys came running down the grand staircase and hugged her legs, chirping,
Mommy.
Eleanor stroked their hair, her gaze sharp as a razor as she looked back at Jessica.
These are Richard's children, too. Their mothers, much like you, were women my husband kept on the side. But tell me, do you see any of them here?
Jessica froze. She had never imagined she wasn't the only one. This woman was a master. Seeing the utter shock on Jessica's face, I couldn't help but applaud.
No, that's impossible. Richard told me he loves me. Only me.
Jessica shrieked, desperately clinging to the fantasy that she was special. Just then, the front door opened. Richard Warren walked in. Jessica scrambled across the floor and threw herself at his feet.
Richard, honey, you have to save our son. It's her. She's trying to kill our baby.
Richard's face tightened with annoyance. He kicked her hand away.
That's enough.
He snapped.
Stop making a scene.
Jessica looked up at him, her eyes wide with disbelief.
What? What did you say?
I said stop it.
Richard roared, his patience gone.
I can have as many women as I want. But I only have one wife. You, Jessica, have crossed the line.
His mistresses were toys, and when a toy became inconvenient, it was thrown away. I raised my eyebrows. This was even better than I'd imagined. Richard waved a dismissive hand, as if shooing away a fly.
All right, stop embarrassing yourself. How much do you want? Name your price and get out.
Jessica stared at him, utterly dumbfounded. This was the man who had promised her a life of luxury, now treating her like a stranger. She clutched her stomach, tears streaming down her face.
Richard, how could you? I'm carrying your child.
A child?
Richard scoffed.
Who knows if it's even mine? And even if it is, so what? I can get any woman I want. You think I care about some bastard you're carrying?
His words were like a dagger to her heart. She stumbled backward, her heels catching on the stone steps of the large decorative fountain in the foyer. Desperation and fury warred within her. She pointed a trembling finger at him.
You heartless bastard. I'm telling you, if you don't take care of me and this baby, I'll throw myself into this fountain. I'll die right here and haunt your entire family.
From her seat on the sofa, Eleanor gracefully lifted her teacup, a small, mocking smile playing on her lips. She had seen this all before. Richard's brow furrowed in irritation.
Go on, jump. You think I haven't seen this act 100 times? I'm telling you right now, if you don't jump, you won't get a single dime from me.
I knew Jessica. She loved to play the victim, to feign weakness. She was just trying to bluff him, hoping he'd soften for the sake of the baby. She never expected him to be so utterly ruthless. Richard's final threat was the blow that shattered her last shred of composure. Her foot slipped. With a shriek of terror, she lost her balance and tumbled backward into the cold water of the fountain. It was deeper than it looked. There was a loud splash. She flailed for a moment, then went still. Watching it unfold on my phone screen, I burst out laughing. A few minutes later, the live stream ended. Eleanor was a legend. I picked up my phone and sent her a one-word text. Bravo. I heard later that Jessica was rushed to a private hospital, one funded by the Warren family, where she could be treated in secret. That evening, Eleanor called me.
Mr. Martinez, we have a problem.
Her voice was heavy. What's wrong? I asked, not really caring. Did she die?
No. But she lost the baby.
So what? It's not like it was a great loss. I said, you weren't planning on letting her keep it, were you?
Of course not.
Eleanor said, her voice dropping.
The problem is, the doctors. They ran some tests.
She paused, as if choosing her words carefully.
The doctor said that Jessica. She has HIV.
My smile froze on my face. A wave of ice-cold dread washed over me, starting from my toes and shooting straight up my spine. HIV. I shot up from the couch, nearly dropping my phone. Eleanor sighed on the other end.
Yes. I just found out. Which means you should probably.
She didn't have to finish the sentence. I knew what she meant. As much as I wanted Jessica to suffer, the thought that I might have, I immediately looked up the number for the best infectious disease specialist in Chicago and made an appointment for the next morning. The process was agonizing. The blood draws, the tests, the waiting. My heart was in my throat the entire time. For 2 weeks, I lived in a state of suspended terror. Finally, the report came. Negative. I collapsed back onto my couch, a wave of relief so powerful it almost made me sick. The weight I'd been carrying was finally gone. Jessica, however, wasn't so lucky. Someone leaked the news of her diagnosis. Within hours, hashtags were trending on Twitter. Hashtag so exposed. Hashtag Warren scandal. Hashtag Jessica Miller HIV. The entire sordid affair between Richard and Jessica was laid bare for the world to see. Every text, every photo, every secret was dug up and plastered online. All of Richard's other affairs started coming to light.
Wow, the rich really are different. This Richard Warren guy seems like a real piece of work. Karma's a bitch, isn't it? I feel bad for all the women he used.
I watched the digital firestorm unfold with a deep sense of satisfaction. Let them burn. They both deserved it. But it didn't stop there. The news of Richard's HIV status spread like a plague through his network of mistresses. The women who had been clinging to him for money were now terrified they had contracted the virus. One by one, they all went to get tested, and the results were damning. Almost every woman who had been with Richard was positive. They banded together, their grief turning to rage. They took their stories public, and Richard Warren was once again the #1 trending topic in the country. Eleanor, meanwhile, played her part perfectly. She was the dignified, wronged wife in public, while behind the scenes, she was quietly buying up discounted shares of Richard's company. Her strategy was swift, ruthless, and brilliant. This time, the scandal was even bigger. Several of the victims were well-known social media influencers. They posted videos, holding up their IDs, and told their stories.
I was 16 when I first had sex with Richard Warren. I was forced. He lured me to a hotel room for a modeling interview. He locked the door and told me if I didn't do what he said, he would ruin my career before it even started. I have the text messages. As for proof of the assault, they have it. They filmed me. I'm sure if you investigate, you'll find it. I'm not the only one. I hate myself for staying silent, and I hate him. But it's too late to change the past.
As more victims came forward, the public outcry was deafening. People tagged the Chicago PD and the FBI in every post.
This monster belongs in prison. What are you waiting for? He deserves to be chemically castrated and then locked away forever. Boycott all Warren Corp products.
This time, Richard was finished. The police launched a full-scale investigation. The list of potential charges was long: statutory rape, knowingly spreading an infectious disease, tax evasion. And the same officers Richard had threatened to report were now leading the raids on his properties, with particular enthusiasm. Richard was nearly 60 years old. With that many charges, he was going to die in prison. In the midst of the chaos, Eleanor, using her family's capital, executed a hostile takeover of the company her husband had built, installing herself as the new CEO. It finally clicked. I sent her a text. "The hospital leak. That was you, wasn't it?" Her reply was instant. "Yes." "Damn, Eleanor," I wrote back. "You earned that company." A scumbag like Richard Warren got exactly what he deserved. As for Jessica, I wasn't about to let her off the hook either. I went to the private hospital. The VIP wing was eerily quiet, the sterile scent of disinfectant hanging in the air like the smell of death.
Well, look what the cat dragged in. Come to gloat, Leo.
Jessica was lying in bed, her face pale and gaunt, but her eyes were still filled with that familiar, bitter resentment. "You should be glad I can still laugh, Jessica," I said, my hands in my pockets as I looked down at her. "That payout you were expecting from Richard? I don't think it's coming."
What are you talking about?
Her face clouded over. "Richard's been arrested. Rape, knowingly spreading a disease, tax fraud. The list goes on. He's never getting out of prison." I paused, letting the words sink in, watching the color drain from her face. "Oh, and I forgot to mention, Eleanor owns his company now. How do you think she's going to deal with you?"
No, that's impossible.
She shrieked, sitting bolt upright. She grabbed a pillow and threw it at me.
It was you. This was all your plan. You did this to me.
"You did this to yourself," I said, sidestepping the pillow and brushing off my jacket as if trying to remove her contamination. "You were the one who decided to be a homewrecker. Who were you trying to blame?"
Don't you dare stand there and pretend you're a saint.
She screamed, trying to get out of bed. She tugged at her foreline and cried out in pain.
I'll tell you this, Leo. If I'm going down, I'm taking you with me.
I laughed out loud. "Your sugar daddy is gone. What power do you possibly have left? You keep saying I ruined you." I continued, a wide, cold smile spreading across my face. "But that disease you've got, that had nothing to do with me."
You.
Jessica was hyperventilating, her already pale face turning a ghastly shade of gray. Suddenly, she let out a wild, unhinged laugh. The sound was sharp and piercing.
You bastard, Leo. I hope you rot in hell.
In one fluid motion, she grabbed the fruit knife from her bedside table and lunged at me. I was ready for it. I moved to the side, and she stumbled past me, her momentum carrying her forward. She lost her footing and crashed headfirst through the large hospital window.
Ah!
A final, piercing scream echoed through the quiet hospital wing. I walked to the shattered window and looked down at the dark, spreading stain on the pavement below. I felt nothing. Some things are just cause and effect. You reap what you sow. Goodbye, Jessica. It was time for me to start my new life.